Brothers Discovery said, we have an idea. Let's take our studio and put it over here, and let's take our cable channels like CNN and TNT and put them over there. And we're going to make two different businesses. We'll have two different CEOs. It's going to be beautiful, as the president would say. Then all of a sudden, something happens. And a company named Skydance, which has purchased Paramount, which owns CBS, there is a huge deal that takes place where David Ellison, son of Larry Ellison, the billionaire computer tech guy, David Ellison and his business Skydance, they say, hey, we're big. We now have CBS. We now have Paramount Plus. We want more. We want to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. An epic decision by CBS, by Paramount, by Skydance. They believe that combining their companies, which would make a behemoth media company, they believe that that's in the best interest of the consumer. Wink, wink. What they actually believe over at Skydance is that combining with Warner Brothers Discovery would be the smartest way to be accretive to their stock price. So they decide that they're going to make a bid for Warner Brothers Discovery. And they negotiate with Zaslav. What they don't realize, which is nothing but hubris, that we want to buy something, therefore we're going to buy it. What they didn't realize is that there would be other companies who would have an interest in buying the same thing. Netflix, Comcast. They looked at Warner Brothers Discovery and said, wait a minute, you're interested in selling? Well, we're interested in buying. Let's negotiate. Warner Brothers Discovery says, well, now we've got multiple bidders. Now we're in control. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to set a date. And so they did. Call it December 1. Submit your best bid. All right, those were good bids. Thanks for submitting. Now let's do it again. Well, what changed? Is there more for sale? Do we get more assets? Did all of a sudden something become worth more than what we thought it was on December 1st? Don't be ridiculous. Submit another bid because you're competing. Does this not remind you of something? Does it remind you of when you bought your home? Does it remind me of when you're trying to sign a ball player? Give me your best contract offer. 4 years, $40 million. That's fantastic. Give me another one. Well, wait, it's still the same guy, right? It's the same pitcher, same stats. Oh, we're just negotiating. Okay. Two can play at that game. What's the number one thing you do when you're negotiating? You don't say it's your last and final and best unless it's your last and final and best. So Skydance did not give its last and final and best when they were the only company negotiating. Netflix did not give its last and final and best when they were one of the three companies negotiating. And when you're the one with the asset and you're selling, you don't ask for last and final and best until it's appropriate. When's it appropriate? Not before the first round of bidding, not after the first round of bidding. You wait for a second round of bidding, then you go back again and you say, great job, everyone. Great job. Agents have done this to me all the time. Homeowners do it too. Great job bidding on the house. Love it. But come back again. We're not saying we're not going to take your offer. What we're saying is there more to give? What do you do when you are trying to buy something and you are being squozen for every last nickel? You are being put up against competition the way agents say there are 4 of your competitive teams trying to sign this player. You better sign him right now or he's going to go to your competitor. You don't think that's what Warner Brothers Discovery did? They went to Netflix and they said, this is about to go to Skydance. So what do you want to do? So Netflix stood up and said, we have an idea. How about if we pay you like $27 a share? And the stock was like at 18. What if we agree to give you like $83 billion? But here's the cool thing, Warner Brothers Discovery. We're only going to buy the studio part of your company. Remember when you were going to split the company? We're only going to buy half of it. You can take the other half and sell it elsewhere. You can take the other half and keep it. Do whatever you want. We're just taking half that we want. And Warner Brothers said, hold on. This bid is similar to the Paramount Skydance bid, but that was for the whole company. And you're telling me that you're giving the same amount of money, but we only have to give you half the assets? Hold on a second. This seems worth it. Netflix said to themselves, we don't want to take the cable TV networks. Why would we do that? They stink. There's no great business there. We just want what works within our company of Netflix. We want the Warner Brothers catalog. We want the movie studio. We want take our streaming power, our subscriber base, and we want to give them more. We want to give them more for their money so we can increase the monthly price and they can have a whole new catalog, a whole new library. And by the way, we love the idea of accepting an Oscar when we can get a movie studio to make Oscar-winning movies. I like it. I like that Netflix thought that this was a strategic purchase. The thing about it is that you're reading articles now where the chairman of Netflix has been spending time with the president. You know the CEO. Can you picture him? He's got the gray hair. He's always the most popular guy in every party because Netflix has the key to so many things that agents want and actors want. You've seen Ted Sarandos. But anyway, word comes out that there was an article on Bloomberg and various other places that Netflix's CEO had spent time with the president. Why does that matter? Because any of these deals that happen, picture a baseball deal where money is going back and forth. You need permission and approval of the commissioner. Otherwise, there's no deal. The commissioner, in his sole discretion, can say no to whatever trade you're doing. The commissioner can say no to whatever free agent signing you're doing. They don't do it often, but they could. When you are in a business deal and you are buying a company, you need government approval. In normal times, you would be lobbying the government for approval of your deal. In these times, you don't lobby the government, you just lobby the president. It's not how it's supposed to be, but that's the way it is. So Netflix goes to the president and starts a relationship, specifically through Ted Sarandos, and you start a relationship with the president by being famous or by being young and beautiful. You start a relationship with the hopes that that will help get your deal approved. At the same time, David Ellison was building a relationship with the president, had a relationship with the president, believed that his relationship with the president would make his deal to buy Warner Brothers the only approvable deal, and he told Warner Brothers that. When word came out that Netflix was entering into an exclusive negotiating period and that, in fact, Warner Brothers had agreed to the Netflix deal, David Ellison and Skydance wrote a letter saying, dudes, you're not going to get approved. I've got the relationship with the president. My deal's better. And that is going to create a monopoly, what you're doing. It's going to be terrible for the consumer. What we're doing, don't be ridiculous. While it may smell, feel, and touch like the exact same type of deal, we're different because it's us. Therefore, you can't approve their deal, Mr. President. You have to approve our deal. By the way, even short of that, Skydance could still enter into a hostile takeover. They could make a hostile offer. They could, when there's public companies involved, there's all sorts of things you can do to keep the game going. What came out this weekend was very much end of game type stuff. Hollywood was upset. Theater chains were upset. Netflix is going to not release big Warner Brothers movies in theaters. And Warner Brothers, during their negotiation with Netflix promised, don't you worry, Warner Brothers. We promise you we will release your movies in theaters across the country. What a bunch of horse hockey. Once these deals happen, If I were the investment banker on Netflix's side, there is not one chance that I would have in the final agreement, forget PR, in the final agreement that we are absolutely stuck releasing movies in theaters. Absolutely not. The whole purpose of driving sub-revenue, which is everything for Netflix, everything, is having first-rate movies like Train Dreams, like K-pop Demon Hunters. The whole purpose of Netflix's business is to not agree to provisions. Of course, it's going to upset people in Hollywood because the old school Hollywood does things one way. Netflix is a disruptor. They do things a different way. And wait a minute, it works. Wait a minute. Netflix has the most subscribers of any service because it works. I am not in any way telling you that Netflix's deal with Warner Brothers will not happen. I am not in any way telling you either that Netflix's deal with Warner Brothers is the final word on Warner Brothers' sale. Skydance is going to get involved again. They don't like losing. There is an opportunity for Skydance to go to the government and to go to the board of Warner Brothers and say, Netflix's deal may look good, but we're ready to buy the whole damn thing, which they were. We'll buy Discovery Global. We will buy TNT and CNN and all the crap that loses money. Why would they do it? What would be interesting to Skydance to have the Warner Brothers library and on top of that have the channels, have TNTs, whatever sports they have? Think about what CBS already has. Think about the fact that they already have the NFL as an example. Adding to their portfolio through TNT would be additive. Netflix is not in the business of cable channels. Skydance is.